the 31st of March. It is a sign. Don't risk, skip. That is the opening message coming through here. And wow, this feels like a powerful shift, not only in love, but in worth, confidence, and the kind of life you are stepping into. I do not feel this message is only about money in a surface way. I feel it is about expansion, self-belief, and a season where you stop living beneath what you are truly meant to receive. And somehow this love connection is tied into that next level energy. So let's go ahead and see where you are in this connection right now. What is your overall energy here? Here is the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. So yes, I feel you are moving into a stronger sense of independence, value, and self-possession. For many of you, you have been learning how to stand on your own feet emotionally, spiritually, and even materially. And that is one reason this reading has that millionaire energy around it. It feels like your standards are rising, your frequency is rising, and your life is preparing to match that. And where is this person right now? Here is the King of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, so I feel this person is also thinking more seriously now. This is not flaky energy. This is someone becoming more grounded, more intentional, and more aware of what they want to build. I feel this person may have gone through their own lessons around stability, security, work, or what it means to offer something solid. And now they are showing up in a different vibration than before, more steady, more deliberate, more real. And what is going on for both of you right now? Here is the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Yes, this connection is entering a new cycle. And I feel that is why the opening message was so bold, because something is turning in your favor right now. This does not feel like random luck. It feels like a harvest point. Like things you have been learning, healing, or growing through are finally beginning to create momentum. And in love, that can look like better treatment, a stronger match, or a shift where things start aligning much more clearly. What else for you? Here is abundance. Yes. And I love that because Spirit is confirming that this season is not about settling. It is not about crumbs. It is not about proving your value to someone who cannot recognize it. This is about receiving on a bigger scale. And for them, here is maturity. Wow. Yes. So I feel this person is growing up in a real way. Maybe not all at once, maybe not perfectly, but I do feel there is more substance in them now, more self-control, more desire to provide peace instead of confusion. For both of you, here's prosperity. Beautiful. So yes, I do feel this bond is connected to growth, expansion, and building. This could mean shared goals one day. Or it could simply mean that this connection enters your life to mirror the fact that you are no longer available for anything small. All right, two cards coming out for you. Here is confidence and here is discernment. Yes, that is exactly what I feel. Spirit is saying your glow up is not only outer, it is inner. You know, you're worth better now. And that changes what you will entertain for them. Here's planning. Okay, so yes, this person is thinking seriously. I feel they are not only feeling things, they are considering timing, action, effort, and how to show up in a way that matches the weight of what they feel. And for both of you, here is green light. Wow. So there is an opening here, a sense that the path is becoming more available, more supported, and more ready to move. Here's your next energy. Luck is on your side. Wow, that fits perfectly. Let's clarify that. Here is the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. So yes, a real opening, a tangible beginning, an opportunity that can become something lasting if handled well. And I feel you have changed too, because with the Nine of Pentacles here, yes, you may still desire love, connection, and emotional closeness, but you are no longer coming from lack. You are coming from strength, and that changes everything. So the main energy coming through is this. You are entering a more abundant chapter. Your standards are rising, your life is widening, and the love connection beside you is being asked to rise with that. No more tiny energy, no more half effort, no more shrinking. This looks like the kind of season where you stop doubting whether bigger blessings are meant for you, because they are. And I feel love is becoming one of the places where that truth gets reflected back to you in a much clearer way now. Yes, now, and I keep getting this very strongly, the more you honor your own value, the faster life starts rearranging itself around that decision. So if you found this, it is a marker sign that the chapter of less is ending and the chapter of overflow is beginning. Okay, let's keep going because I want to look at some more details here. What are you thinking overall about this person and this connection right now? Here is the Ace of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Sunday. Wow, so I feel your thoughts are not dim around this person. Even if you have tried to stay measured, there is still warmth, possibility, and emotional brightness in the way you hold them in your mind. With the Ace of Cups, you still feel that something genuine exists here. With the Three of Wands, you have been sensing that more is ahead than what has already happened. And with the Sunday, I feel part of you sees this connection as something that could flourish if the right effort meets it. So I do not feel your mind is stuck in the past here. It is more like your heart has been looking toward expansion, not from fantasy, but from a quiet sense that the story has more road in front of it. And what are they thinking about you right now? Here is the Emperor, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, so I feel this person is becoming more serious in the way they think about you. The Emperor says they want composure, structure, and purpose. The Seven of Pentacles says they see long-term value here. And the Page of Pentacles says they are thinking about a practical move. This is not someone whose thoughts are drifting around with no anchor. It feels like they are considering what can actually be done, what can actually be offered, and how to create something with form instead of only feeling. What are you feeling overall about them right now? Here is the Star, the Four of Swords, and the Two of Cups. So yes, I feel there is still hope in you, but it is wiser hope now. The Star says your heart has not gone cold. The Four of Swords says you have also needed space, calm, and emotional rest. And the Two of Cups says the bond itself still feels reciprocal to you. That is important because it shows me you are not just hanging on to a random wish. You have sensed a living current between you. Even while protecting your peace, you have still felt the mutual pull. And how are they feeling about you right now? Here is the Queen of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Four of Cups. Wow. So they feel your steadiness, they feel your warmth, they feel what makes you trustworthy, calming, and valuable. But with the Hermit, I feel they have been inward with these feelings. And with the Four of Cups, I feel they are dissatisfied with how much has remained unspoken. Let's clarify that Four of Cups. Here is the Knight of Pentacles. Yes. So I feel this person wants to move more carefully than dramatically, but the desire to move is there. They may not be the type to erupt all at once, but I do feel they want to bring something real into the open. And one more, here is the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. So there is also spark here, motivation here, and a fresh push inside them to begin rather than just imagine. That is part of why this reading feels so active. It is not only emotional, it is energizing. So let's look at your intentions toward them right now. Here is the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and Judgment. Wow, yes, this says so much. You are holding your own ground. You are staying in your worth. And yet your heart is still alive. The Nine of Pentacles says you are not collapsing into need. The Queen of Cups says you still care. And Judgment says, you know, the truth of this connection is coming to a more visible point. Your intention is not to chase outcomes. It is to remain open to what is real while staying anchored in who you are. And what are their intentions towards you right now? Here is the King of Pentacles, the World, the High Priestess, and the Moon. Wow. Okay. So their intention is to come forward from a more mature place, but they are still moving through inner mystery and uncertainty as they do it. The King of Pentacles says they want to be substantial. The World says a chapter is turning. The High Priestess says this has been deeply intuitive for them. And the Moon says there are still fears, private questions, and emotional layers they are moving through. So yes, the intention is there, but it feels like a person gathering themselves first so that what they do next has more gravity and less confusion attached to it. What exactly has been blocking them? Here is the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, they have been afraid of what a real beginning requires. Some people can hold a dream more easily than they can hold an actual opportunity in their hands. Let's get another block. Here is second house. Yes. So comfort, security, habits, finances, values, or attachment to the familiar have all played a role in slowing things down. But the key thing I keep getting is that the old pace no longer fits this connection. Something larger is pushing it forward now. And I feel the abundance message in the first part matters here too. And that matters because what comes next must match your rise. All right, let's look at the shared field between you now, because this is where the reading starts showing what the connection itself is doing. How are you both thinking in this connection? Here is the Two of Cups. Wow, so yes, I do feel there is mutual awareness here. Both of you know this carries emotional weight. Both of you know there is more here than casual interest. And both of you, in your own way, have been unable to treat this as something empty. The Two of Cups says there is echo between you. There is response. There is a real meeting of hearts, even if the outer situation has not fully caught up yet. So that matters because it tells me the abundance here is not only about money, it is also about emotional reciprocity. And how are you both feeling? Here's the Nine of Swords. Wow, yes, there is pressure on both sides. I feel you have been feeling the intensity of sensing a shift while they have been feeling the intensity of knowing they cannot stay still forever. Let's clarify that Nine of Swords. Here is the Three of Pentacles. Yes, so the challenge has not been whether the feeling exists. The challenge has been how to make it workable, how to give it structure, and how to bring it into day-to-day reality, because that is one thing I keep noticing here. This connection has soul, warmth, and possibility, but now it is being asked for form. It is being asked to move out of silent value and into demonstrated value. So let's look at where this connection is headed in the near future. Here is the Hierophant, the Page of Pentacles, and the Star. Wow. Okay, the Hierophant tells me the next phase wants honesty, maturity, and clearer intention. The Page of Pentacles shows a grounded gesture, an offer, or a practical beginning. And the Star shows healing, renewal, and a sense that things are finally moving toward a cleaner alignment. I really like that combination because it feels reassuring. It feels like a path becoming visible. It feels like the kind of step that brings relief because it begins to match the value both people have already been sensing. Let's get another card for the near future. Here is the Eight of Wands. Wow, yes, movement. Activity, forward flow, things starting to happen faster after a slower phase. And here's the Hermit reversed. Yes, so someone is stepping out of solitude and stepping toward connection. That matters because it tells me the inward season is ending. The thinking, watching, calculating, and waiting phase is giving way to something more open. And I feel once that shift happens, the energy changes quickly. What advice does Spirit have for you right now? Here is the Ten of Cups. Beautiful. So Spirit is saying, do not put your joy on hold while this unfolds. Do not postpone your own emotional richness waiting for the other person to catch up. The Millionaire message at the beginning was also about that. It was about fullness. Not only financial fullness, emotional fullness, spiritual fullness. The kind of life where you stop shrinking yourself and start expecting better in every direction. Let's get another advice card. Here is self-worth. Yes, exactly. Spirit is saying stay rooted in your standards, stay rooted in your peace. Stay rooted in the version of you that knows good things are allowed to arrive and stay. Because when you hold that frequency, you do not have to force. You do not have to prove. You do not have to bend yourself into less. You simply recognize what matches you and what does not. Let's see what this person would say to you if they could speak from the heart. Here is the first message. I know I have to come towards you differently now. Wow. Yes, that fits this reading completely because your energy has elevated and they can feel that. Here is another message. I do not want to bring you anything small, beautiful. So I feel this person knows that whatever they offer now needs more substance behind it. They may not be able to fix everything at once, but they do know flimsy energy will not be enough anymore. Here is another. Watching you rise made me realize what I could lose by waiting too long. Wow. Yes. And I feel that is part of the turning point because when one person grows in value, confidence, and self-possession, the other person has to decide whether they are ready to meet that or let it pass them by. Let's get one more. I can feel that the season between us is changing. Yes, and that really is the message. A season is changing from slower to more active, from uncertain to more visible, from inner knowing to outer action. And I feel that change has real momentum behind it now. It is no longer a distant possibility. It is entering the room. Yes, and I feel that is why the next turn matters so much. It is not only movement, it is proof that the connection can begin taking shape in a steadier way, and that both of you are being invited into something that asks for more honesty, more presence, and more care. Okay, let's keep going because I want to look more closely at what is happening inside this person now that the energy is becoming more serious. What are they most afraid of if they step fully toward this? Here is the tower. Wow, yes, this person is afraid of how much their world could change once they stop standing at a safe distance because I do not feel this is a small connection and I do not feel they can step into it halfway without feeling the impact. What else are they afraid of? Here is justice. Yes, there is also fear of accountability. They know that real progress asks for honesty, and honesty means owning what was delayed, what was avoided, and what was not handled well before. So the fear here is not only about emotion, it is also about responsibility. It is also about responsibility. It is about knowing that once they move closer, they need to do so with integrity. What do they want most with you now? Here is the Two of Cups, beautiful. So underneath all the hesitation, what they want is genuine exchange. They want mutuality. They want to know whether this can be shared in a real way rather than kept private inside their own mind. That is very important because it tells me this is not only desire, it is not only admiration, it is a longing for actual partnership energy, actual meeting, actual closeness that feels reciprocated. What would help this connection unfold in the healthiest way? Here is temperance. Wow. Yes, Spirit is saying balance, composure, and steady movement will help far more than drama or extreme swings. This is not a bond that needs performance. It needs sincerity that can hold. Let's get another card for what helps. Here is the Three of Pentacles. Yes, so grounded effort matters, tangible follow through matters, gestures that have reliability in them matter. And I feel that is one of the main themes of this whole reading. The connection has value. Now it needs embodiment. What is the lesson you are meant to take from this phase? Here is the Queen of Swords. Wow. Yes, you are learning how to stay soft without becoming blurry. You are learning how to recognize depth without abandoning discernment. That is such a powerful lesson because it means you can honor what you feel without throwing away your standards. You can welcome what is beautiful without stepping beneath your own worth to get it. What is the lesson they are meant to take from this phase? Here is the Hanged Man. Yes, this person has been forced into a new perspective. They had to slow down enough to see what this really is and what it asks of them. Sometimes that kind of shift feels uncomfortable because it interrupts old habits, but I do feel that is exactly what has happened. The old way of staying on the edge no longer feels satisfying to them. Let's get another card for them. Here is Heart Chakra, beautiful. So I feel they are being guided to live more honestly from the heart, not only feel things privately. And that is a huge difference. Feeling in silence can go on for a long time, but living from the heart asks for choices. It asks for expression. It asks for behavior that matches emotion. And I feel that is the doorway opening now. Let's see what else they would say to you. I know you can feel when I am serious. Wow. Yes. And that fits because I feel you are extremely perceptive around this person. You can tell when the energy shifts. Here's another. I have had to face myself in a deeper way because of this connection. That feels true too, because this bond seems to mirror not only love, but growth, standards, and readiness. Here's another. I do not think I can keep approaching you from the old version of me. Wow, yes, that says so much, because I feel this person knows change is required here, not as punishment, as evolution. What are you being asked to remember while all of this unfolds? Here is the Empress. Beautiful. Spirit wants you planted in your value, your calm, your radiance, and your ability to receive. You do not need to scramble, you do not need to become smaller, and you do not need to chase abundance of any kind. What belongs with you will begin moving toward you more naturally as you remain aligned with your own worth. Let's get one more. Here is the Star. Wow. Yes, you are being asked to remain open to grace, healing, and beautiful outcomes while still staying rooted in what feels healthy for your spirit. Because this whole reading is not only about someone else becoming more serious, it is about you stepping into a richer chapter of life, a chapter where you no longer question whether bigger blessings fit your path. They do. And this connection is being invited to prove whether it can move in step with that richer chapter too. Yes, strongly so. And I feel that is the deeper promise here. Not only romance, but a richer way of living, receiving, and met. If this person belongs in your world, they are being asked to show that with steadier energy, cleaner intention, and real follow through now. All right, let's get deeper into the messages now because I feel there is a lot this person has wanted to say but has not fully had the courage to set down plainly. Here's the first message. I can see that your life is opening, and I know I have to meet you at that level. Wow, yes, that fits everything. Because I feel this person has been watching your energy rise, your confidence strengthen, and your standards sharpen. Here is another. I do not want to come towards you empty-handed beautiful. So I feel there is a real desire in them to bring something that has substance, whether that is emotional clarity, steadier effort, or a more grounded offer than before. Here's another. The more I delayed, the more obvious it became that you would not stay the same forever. Wow. Yes, and that matters. Because this person is aware that you are not standing still. You are becoming more of yourself, more selective, more radiant, more aligned. Let's get another message. What is most alive in their heart right now? Here is, I know this can become something lasting if I handle it the right way. Wow, yes, that feels very strong because I do not feel they are thinking only in short-term emotion. I feel they have been considering what could actually be built here, and the King of Pentacles energy from earlier still carries through. There is something in them that wants more than a fleeting spark. They want to know whether this can become real, dependable, and long range. What are they still hesitant about? Here's the Nine of Wands. Yes, so there is still caution here. They worry about timing. They worry about whether they have enough to offer, and they worry about whether they can step into your life at the level your energy now requires. Let's clarify the Nine of Wands. Here's the Five of Pentacles. Wow, yes. Another fear is being left outside. Another fear is realizing they hesitated too long and now the opening has narrowed. And one more here is judgment. Beautiful. So the reason this still moves forward is because the inner call is stronger than the fear. The need to answer the moment is stronger than staying comfortable. And I feel that is what keeps bringing the connection toward the next turn. What do they secretly hope for? Here is the Six of Cups. Yes, they hope the bond still has softness in it. They hope the thread between you has not been lost. They hope that when they step closer, they are still meeting warmth rather than a door that has fully shut. What does Spirit most want you to know about that? Here's the Queen of Wands. Wow. Spirit wants you to remember the strength of your own field. Your presence has impact. Your confidence has impact. And your way of carrying yourself has stayed in this person's awareness more deeply than maybe they let on. Let's get another message from them. Seeing you honor yourself changed how I think about what I need to bring. Wow. Yes, because your self-worth has become part of the lesson here. It has become part of the mirror. Here's another. I know this is not the kind of connection I can approach lazily. Exactly, that says so much, because whatever this person does next, I feel they know it must have intention behind it. What would help this next phase most? Here is the Page of Pentacles. Beautiful Spirit is saying smaller, sincere steps matter more than grand talk with no foundation. Something real, something direct. Something that can be trusted because it is simple and true. Let's get another card. Here is the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Yes, timing is turning. What once sat in pause is moving into a more active cycle. And I feel that is why the millionaire message at the beginning had such force, because cycles are changing in more than one area of your life at once. What are you being asked to do with that? Here is the Empress and the Queen of Swords. Beautiful softness and clarity together again. You are not being asked to harden. You are being asked to stay awake and stay rooted. You can remain receptive while still seeing clearly whether what is coming towards you is sturdy enough to stand beside the life you are creating. That is the key, because the life you are creating is no longer small, and anything entering it needs to respect that. Let's get one more message from their heart. I do not want to miss my chance with you because I was too slow to trust myself. Wow. Yes, that feels very accurate. There is an urgency in them now, not chaotic urgency, but the kind that comes from realizing the window for a next step is open now, not forever. And I feel the next move matters because it shows whether this person can rise to the level of seriousness, value, and care that this connection now requires. And I do feel they are trying, truly trying. That is very clear here. Yes, now and I see effort is the message. This is not someone staying asleep to the moment anymore. This is someone realizing value asks for action, and action is becoming necessary. All right, let's close this out with some final messages because this reading feels like it is bringing a private shift into a more visible chapter. Here is the first closing message. I know you are not meant for a small life, and I do not want to approach you in a small way. Wow, yes, that says everything. This person sees that your path is widening and they understand they need to meet you with more depth, more care, and more steadiness. Here is the next message. I can feel that your season has changed and ours is changing too, beautiful, because I do feel the timing has turned. What once felt stuck is beginning to move. What once felt uncertain is beginning to clarify. And what once felt delayed is beginning to gather momentum. Here is another one. I do not want you settling for less, and I know that means I cannot bring you less. Wow, yes. And that is one of the strongest truths in the reading because your growth has raised the standard around the connection, and that is not a bad thing. That is exactly what needed to happen. What does Spirit most want you to remember? Here is the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, beautiful. Spirit wants you thinking bigger now, not only in love, in life, in your sense of possibility, in what you are available for, in what you allow yourself to believe can actually happen for you. This is not the season for playing small with your desires. It is not the season for assuming you have to choose between love and abundance or between success and softness. No, I feel Spirit is saying bigger is possible, fuller is possible, richer is possible. Let's get another advice card. Here is the Star. Yes, stay open to blessing, stay open to support, stay open to the fact that your life may be preparing to surprise you in very generous ways. And let's get one more. Here is the Queen of Swords. Exactly. So clarity still belongs here. Hope and clarity, softness and intelligence, receiving and discernment, all of that works together. Now, what is the highest potential here if both people honor what is shifting? Here is the Two of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Beautiful. So the highest potential is real mutual feeling meeting dependable energy. Not just chemistry, not just promise, something more stable. That is very important because it means the connection can grow in a way that supports your life rather than drains it. And I feel that matters so much in this chapter because you are entering a phase where what stays with you needs to nourish, not diminish. What would they say to you if no fear and no delay were left in the way? Here's the first message. I want to build something that matches the value I see in you. Wow. Yes. And here is another. I know you are moving into more, and I do not want to stand outside of that if I am meant to be beside you. Here is another one. Watching you rise made me understand my own heart more clearly. Beautiful, because sometimes another person's glow up becomes a wake-up call, and I feel that is part of what happened here. Let's get one final oracle card. Here is Overflow. Wow. And here is another alignment. Beautiful. So I feel the closing message is very simple. Overflow comes when alignment comes, when you stop settling, when you stop shrinking, when you choose the life, love, and treatment that actually fit your worth. So the final message I am getting is this. If you saw this, take it as a sign to stop doubting the bigger life that has been calling you. Take it as a sign to stop acting like your dreams are too much. And take it as a sign that this love connection is being tested now to see whether it can rise into that bigger chapter with you. I do feel prosperity energy around you. I do feel elevation around you. And I do feel elevation, a romantic life is being asked to reflect that elevation too. No more confusion for the sake of it. No more tiny offerings, no more half-hearted presents. The next stretch of your life wants more. For now, keep choosing yourself. Keep strengthening your foundation. Keep trusting the upgrades that are happening in your spirit. Because the more you do that, the more obvious it becomes what belongs in your life and what does not. And if this person is truly meant to stay close, they will start showing you that they can carry more, hold more, and offer more. Because the version of you that is emerging does not need to chase abundance. She becomes it. And once you become it, the people and situations around you either rise or fall away. And I feel that is the truth of this reading. You are rising. Life is opening. And the connection beside you is standing at a point of decision. Can it become as real, grounded, and generous as the life you are stepping into? I feel that answer begins showing itself very soon. Yes, certainly now, truly. And I feel yes if the energy keeps maturing. This next stretch is not about promise alone, it is about whether love gets sturdy enough to walk beside your expansion for real. Here is the first closing message. I know you are not meant for a small life, and I do not want to approach you in a small way. Wow, yes, that says everything. This person sees that your path is widening, and they understand they need to meet you with more depth, more care, and more steadiness. Here is the next message. I can feel that your season has changed, and ours is changing too, beautiful, because I do feel the timing has turned. What once felt stuck is beginning to move, what once felt uncertain is beginning to clarify. And what once felt delayed is beginning to gather momentum. Here is another one. I do not want you settling for less, and I know that means I cannot bring you less. Wow, yes. And that is one of the strongest truths in the reading because your growth has raised the standard around the connection, and that is not a bad thing. That is exactly what needed to happen. What does Spirit most want you to remember? Here is the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, beautiful. Spirit wants you thinking bigger now, not only in love, in life, in your sense of possibility, in what you are available for, in what you allow yourself to believe can actually happen for you. This is not the season for playing small with your desires. It is not the season for assuming you have to choose between love and abundance or between success and softness. No, I feel Spirit is saying bigger is possible, fuller is possible, richer is possible. Let's get another advice card. Here is the Star. Yes, stay open to blessing, stay open to support, stay open to the fact that your life may be preparing to surprise you in very generous ways. And let's get one more. Here is the Queen of Swords. Exactly. So clarity still belongs here. Hope and clarity, softness and intelligence, receiving and discernment, all of that works together. Now, what is the highest potential here if both people honor what is shifting? Here is the Two of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Beautiful. So the highest potential is real mutual feeling meeting dependable energy. Not just chemistry, not just promise, something more stable. That is very important because it means the connection can grow in a way that supports your life rather than drains it. And I feel that matters so much in this chapter because you are entering a phase where what stays with you needs to nourish, not diminish. What would they say to you if no fear and no delay were left in the way? Here's the first message. I want to build something that matches the value I see in you. Wow, yes. And here is another. I know you are moving into more, and I do not want to stand outside of that if I am meant to be beside you. Here is another one. Watching you rise made me understand my own heart more clearly. Beautiful, because sometimes another person's glow up becomes a wake-up call, and I feel that is part of what happened here. Let's get one final oracle card. Here is Overflow. Wow, and here is another alignment. Beautiful. So I feel the closing message is very simple. Overflow comes when alignment comes, when you stop settling, when you stop shrinking, when you choose the life, love, and treatment that actually fit your worth. So the final message I am getting is this. If you saw this, take it as a sign to stop doubting the bigger life that has been calling you. Take it as a sign to stop acting like your dreams are too much, and take it